live again. So just to give a quick overview, we are at Noisebridge Hackerspace, and this space is totally volunteer and donation run. The cool thing about Noisebridge is that nobody is in charge, which means that everybody's in charge, including you. And so the way that this operates is that it's a duocracy. If you see something that you think needs to be done, you should go ahead and do it. With paying attention to our one rule, which is be excellent to each other. So if you're going to affect other people with the thing you want to do, you should probably talk to them first. We also don't have a janitor, so we're going to spend some time at the end of this hackathon cleaning up after ourselves. And also we have a safe space and anti-harassment policy. People come here to work on projects. Please don't hit on them or harass them in any way. And if you have any problems, feel free to talk to me. I'm Ruth. Also, extra special thanks to Hank and the NCAST team for donating our live streaming equipment, which is how you can see the Noisebridge logo in this video. Yeah, and then finally, we have Wi-Fi. It's Noisebridge. There's no password. And there's also bathrooms. If you go all the way in the back and to the right, there are the bathrooms. So this is the San Francisco Stupid Shit Nobody Needs and Terrible Ideas Hackathon. Welcome, everybody. First up, we have the Message Bus team. Are you ready?
Yeah, we just need to plug into the thing.
Okay.
Will this see the computer?
Yes, so we have video and audio over here.
This will show up.
It should show up behind you.
It'll show up behind me. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do have to turn on the
That's not what I want.
projector.
One of these. This is yours.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, God.
Ross, do you want to hold the mic?
Yeah, sure.
You know what's fun? I don't even think it's on that side. We'll just
Don't trip over the mic.
We can also do Chromecast or Apple TV.
That's cool. We'll do
You
it
have
over
to-
here on the chair.
Yeah.
Can we see that?
Because of the PowerPoint, and then there's 4 different tabs. It'd be difficult to Chromecast all of it. Because there has to be a PowerPoint. Is it going? No?
This is hooked up to the floor HDMI.
Okay. Is it in the right input setting? No.
Think the projector only works if you're showing the screensaver.
Do you want to try it with Chromecast?
Sure. Try that.
All right.
Wait, will this pass? I don't want to just pass the presentation. This is a hackathon. Pass desktop.
Sweet.
There we go. I hope. Does that work?
Yeah. Okay. It's going.
Kind of. Hold on. It's not just pass desktop. It's a message bus. That's true.
Let's just start, and then we'll just do each
Yeah,
tab.
that's fine. But it's not casting with
Let's just
desktop.
get started.
You don't see this? Whatever.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're Team Message Bus, and we built a message bus. So Message Bus uses the SF Muni bus system as the message bus. So we leverage the already existing network that exists in real life to pass messages. And before we went and we built this, we did some analysis and looked at existing message bus technologies to determine if any of them are really viable given their requirements. And as you can see, although some of them do support Q stuff, None of them had a combination of being web scale, being geolocation capable, energy efficient, and realistic time, right? There's real time, but there's actual time as well, right? Where you have planned latency, and you have that with the bus system. So as you can see in red, our message bus architecture proposal met all of those things. So we went ahead and we built that today. We also had to do some cost analysis of what it costs to run our message bus. So as you can see here, SFMTA has an annual budget of $1.79 billion. So we're going to leverage that existing budget in infrastructure as opposed to cheaply running it on AWS, right? So Kafka costs 21 cents an hour per broker and 10 cents per gig per month, right? So this already exists. It's free. This we have to pay for, even though it's a lot less. So we made the decision, once again, to build new technology. I want to talk a bit about our roadmap before I get into how things actually work. Some things that we plan to do, in case you were kind of on the edge of your seat guessing when we demo, we want to have cross-transportation bus systems. So because you physically need a bus to go to a station to get a message, it makes it very difficult to transport messages across state lines or city lines. So we'd like to be able to have a bus, maybe go from here to LA so we can connect those bus system networks at some point. We want to do stuff with machine learning. We're not sure what, but we were told we had to add it, so that's there. As well as blockchain, something that mixed reality VR. Maybe we could simulate the buses in virtual reality and project them somehow onto the ground. We're not really sure. Open to ideas if anybody has some afterwards. And then lastly, we always need more scale. So just making things more web scale if possible. I want to talk a bit about our architecture that we have. So there's 3 microservices. There's an in-queuing service and a queuing service, both written in Python. There's a Node.js front-end service. We use SQLite and then the NextBus API to get the bus coordinates because we actually built this. This is a real thing that we're going to show you in a moment. So let me give you a little example of what happens. Let's say I want to send a message, right? I will use the API and I'll say, hey, I'd like to post a message to this bus stop. And if there's no bus there, the API will give you a 504 and say, the bus is not available, try again in n seconds, and then queue it up. When the bus comes, the message will actually go on to the bus. And every subsequent station that it goes to will receive a copy of the message that will be persisted for approximately 2 minutes. So once it hits 16th Street, then 18th Street, they'll both have that message as it travels around the Muni network, broadcasting the message across every stop that it goes to. Let's hop into a demo. Yeah. All right. Let me get the tabs working here. So. Yeah, I get it.
I think we should try and stop halfway.
Stop and start, yeah. Oh, stop and start. All right, to show you what happens when you want to use the API, it's kind of hard to see, but you put in the URL the stop ID, the send command, and then a message you want to put. So here I sent Noisebridge to a stop at 18th about 20 minutes ago, and we got a success. But right now, there's likely no bus there. So I'm going to go and send it again, and it's probably going to tell me that, oh, there is a bus there, so the message went again. Let's do a bus stop that doesn't, if no bus stop exists, we get a fail message. Now, if you want to go and look up a bus stop, we can go and look at the Muni map here, and we can see that there's a bus that's going to hit this station soon, and that is, what is it, Persia Ave. So I'm going to go and actually look up the ID of the bus stop, because we didn't build all this stuff. So 5610.
Shout out to NextBus.
Yeah, NextBus.
Bless your APIs. They're not so good.
You can see here it's queued for delivery. The bus isn't there yet, so NextBus API told us when it's going to come. And the front-end service will now queue this up and keep trying until the bus comes. If I go to this message endpoint, I can see every message that exists in the system right now. So the Noisebridge thing I sent, which has an ID of 10, we can now go to a map and I can actually track. I can track the message. There it is in the bus. This will update every 10 seconds, and we can see the message travel across the network. We also have the ability to go and query a stop to see if the message is available at said stop. So if we go look at the map again, there's going to be a bus that's going to appear here at some point. So that's back to Persia Ave, and I can go, hey, I'd like to check to see if there's a message available. And there is. Noisebridge got delivered because the bus hit that stop. So the message is available. This is a real thing that we built somehow. And I'm going to head over to Nick to talk about some more of how it works.
Sure. I don't know what more we really need to talk about because we got messages going on buses. We basically reinvented the internet on top of buses using the internet. So, bless those APIs. Yeah, so this is the queuing stuff that goes on. So, you'll send a message into here, and we'll, track it with the buses. And so, every 30 seconds, we'll check where the buses are because they don't have, real-time APIs. It's fine. They're also not really accurate. So, that's why the Muni's late, because Nextbus can't predict when buses are supposed to arrive. So then, yeah, once those arrive, I'll just, send a whole bunch of messages to, the stops that are registered as, API receivers, right? Listeners in your service. So, yeah, we're just doing it again now. That's awesome. So, the front end, this, Node app that was running, look, it just got some messages, Noisebridge. Hey, there's some stuff. There's some random Python app that's also listening for things because, why not? So, yeah, you could, build an entire, distributed system on top of the Muni. Did you know that? So I would recommend it. So, yeah, this is fun.
Thanks. Any questions?
Are we taking questions?
Taking questions?
We can take questions. Questions?
Do you have anyone take pictures of these actually happen in the universe?
Yeah, so I have this on my phone, and there's, they're not actually on the bus, but, there's, the 14 and the 49 or something. Look, it's a bus. Yeah, I know. I think it'd be way cooler if we were able to hack the Muni buses instead of it saying 14. It was here's the Noisebridge thing. That'd be pretty cool. So exactly. Yeah. No. So it's not actually on the bus. It's virtually on the bus that we're tracking. Yeah, it'd be way cooler if we had a person that we hired to run around all these buses, but we thought it'd be even more useless if they weren't even real. Is packet loss a big problem? Yes, probably.
Yeah, that's the challenge of reinventing the OSI model on a bus. Is we have to really rediscover how to do it in something that's physical. So yeah, packet loss is there. Unfortunately, we don't track any of these things to have any kind of quality of service, so we're not really sure.
Oh, yeah. I think we actually found something weird this morning where all the buses were in Daly City. I think that's where they end up when they're done for the day.
Yeah, we're not really sure.
I'm not really sure, but we sent a message yesterday and it ended up in Daly City. I don't think it was on that bus. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, don't expect this to be reliable. I wouldn't really build things on top of this.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Also, shout out to our third team member who's not feeling so great. Good teamwork. Here you go.
All right, so I'm going to go next with mine. I don't have a PowerPoint or anything, so if VimDrive wants to come down here and see if you can connect to the display, that would probably be a good idea. Is the VimDrive team here? Oh, but do you have a PowerPoint, or are you just going to talk? Okay, you're just going to talk then. Cool. So this is my project. I made a nursing cover. So I'm expecting in a couple months. And something that you can use a nursing cover for is feeding your baby under so people don't see your boobs. But I think that's kind of ridiculous because the baby's just being fed. Why do you have to hide your boobs? So I drew on the other side some boobs for my nursing cover. And then, thank you. And then, of course, it has a regular print if I don't feel like being a breastfeeding activist today. Thanks, everyone. All right, VimDrive. Do you want to just come up here and talk about what you worked on? Yeah. That's fine.
Hi, everyone. Right here. So I use Vim for text editing, and I was getting tired of like getting in crashes when I was coding while I was driving. So I figured if I could control my car using Vim key bindings, it would make my life a whole lot easier. So there's like a car back there that I threw together. It only drives when you don't put any inputs into it or something. So like, I have to figure out how to fix that. But yeah, it'll be done in like a couple minutes. So yeah.
Is it, so do you like use the Vim commands to steer it?
Yeah, like the H, J, K, and L keys and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. You're welcome to come back up here at the end if you want.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have the Commit Chaos team. Do y'all have a presentation?
We have a visual demo.
You have a visual demo.
I mean, we need to connect to the projector.
Okay. Yes. So we did Chromecast last time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that.
Here's your mic.
Are you gonna handle most of the pitch, or what are we gonna do?
I can do like the intro, and then if you want to do that for them. Which Chromecast is it?
Hackathon.
Hackathon. Nice. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
I could have done this in X-Random in like 20 seconds.
Nice. Okay. Sweet. So for those of you that are software engineers, you probably write tests. In fact, if you're a good software engineer, which you all are, obviously, you write good tests that test things properly. But maybe your test can be better. Not saying that you don't test well, but maybe you could. To ensure that, we've built a bot that's meant to instill a sense of fear and anxiety in you at all times, and will hopefully encourage better testing. So how it works is a job is periodically run that scans your code base on GitHub, selects a file at random, and then selects a line at random and swaps it with the line below it, and then runs CI. And if it passes CI, then it commits it to master automatically under your name. And if it doesn't pass CI, then it continues doing this until it finds a change that will pass CI. To run it right now, should get a diff here. Yeah, chaos coming through, and it changed a comment, moved a comment down. So that'll probably pass. It'll be a little more confusing for people reading it, but it'll probably pass.
Are you gonna run it? Okay.
Say some stuff.
Okay. Anyway. So yeah. In future plans are to make it have a better semantic understanding of code. Like for example, understanding braces, fixing indentation problems. So if it swaps something into or outside of a if block, fixing the indentation so it looks like it's supposed to be there. Also, we could find hard-coded numbers, especially maybe numbers like 1 and 2 would be two big changes, but maybe something like if you had a hard-coded 6 or 8 or 133, it could just bump that number by 1, and then see what happens. Because assuming you have good tests, then obviously it can't change behavior and still pass the tests, clearly. So it's completely safe. Anyway.
Anything else?
I think that's
Cool.
that's it.
That's I'm Alex.
Oh, yeah, I'm William.
Sweet. Thank
Cool.
you, Alex and William. Thank you, Alex and William. Next up, we've got ExcuseBot. Is ExcuseBot team ready? All right, so you'll want to connect to Chromecast. If you need to. Oh, you don't need the screen. Okay.
We can.
Great. All right.
Displays the source code.
Here's your microphone.
Elias, go for it. Me?
Yeah. If you all should try to be on this side of the podium so that you're.
So our invention. Our invention was the excuse bot, also known as the office stand-in. If you can't make it to work, you can put this thing by your desk, and it will sense when someone walks by and explain why you didn't get anything done. It's adjustable. You can pick the mood. There is, the color of the light indicates the mood. I don't remember which color is which, but there's lazy, depressed, resentful. What? Oh, lazy. So blue is depressed, yellow is lazy, red is frustrated.
I didn't get to that yet. I was talking to J.K. Rowling about my existential dread.
Green is resentful. Right now it's depressed. So wait, we got to give the sensor some time to reset. Reset. And then walk in front of it or just pass our hand in front of it.
I can't do that, but I just had a burrito for lunch, and now I can't move. It's not working. Maybe somebody forgot to pay our hosting company.
Those are lazy.
I can't fix that. That code was written by the last guy.
Oh, sure.
I didn't start yet. You never do the stuff I ask you to, either.
I'm not familiar with it, so I didn't fix it in case I made it worse. I'm not familiar with it, so I didn't fix it in case I made it worse.
It's a little random. It's consistent. That's what it does.
Yeah. So we've got a dictionary of different expressions by mood, and they're mad-libbed. Oh, sorry. So we have a dictionary of different expressions by mood. They're mad-libbed, so you can, put in like a list of your friends
I
or.
didn't get to that yet. I was talking to my pet canary about my kleptomania.
Like, for example, that one has 2 Mad Lib slots in it. But we didn't write that many.
I just heard that our CEO is throwing up.
And so on.
I get to that, but I just heard that the marketing department is throwing up.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Runaway Football. Say your name and then your pattern.
Hello, my name is Milo, and I am still working on because I haven't finished it yet. But it's a football that if it sees you, it runs in the opposite direction. So you're always chasing the football, not just waiting for it to stop. So it's basically the same way as the orb swarm does it, but with a sonar sensor, and it is extra annoying. On the edge, the rolling is going to be equal to the amount of updates per second. So it just updates whenever it sees something, and it's whenever it rolls. Yeah. What?
How do you deal with the orientation of your center sensor constantly changing as it rolls?
Like I said, the speed of the rolling is going to be equal to the speed of updates, and so this may make football an even more team sport, in the bad way.
Thank you, Milo. Next up, we have this Bytes software engineering application. Do y'all have a laptop to present on? Do y'all have a laptop that you want to present on? Okay, the best way to do it is Chromecast. Yeah. We do have a cable. It didn't work the last time we tried it. Yeah. Yes, it's the Hackathon Chromecast.
The Hackathon Chromecast?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And for the presentation, the camera's here, and you'll want everyone standing like on this side of the podium. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay. I don't actually. Oh, here, test. Oh, Hackathon. All right.
Hey.
Yay.
Nice.
All right.
And
So
here's your
let me
mic.
just
Okay.
grab the, all right. So what you can't see, which is okay. All right. Yay. You have most of our team. We have one team member who really tried to make it, but he couldn't do it. So my name's Rashi.
Stella.
Kevin.
And Tim is not here, but if he shows up, he'll join us. And we made this Bytes, which is a ridiculously terrible job application for software engineering. So what you haven't seen is the first thing it does is ask for permissions to know your location. And if you block it, it automatically denies your application and redirects you to the food bank. What? Yeah, you can only see this part because I'm using the Chromecast. So if I go back to this Bytes, I have to re-enable the permission. Yeah, I don't want to for privacy reasons. So this Bytes, we give it permission for location, clipboard. Oh, and when you give it your clipboard, it automatically pastes, it automatically tweets out your clipboard, which it shows on my screen again. So maybe you guys can see, I don't know. And yeah. And then, of course, you allow your microphone and camera. Oh, man. There we go. Okay, so what it does is But my speaker is off, but it's coming through there. This is terrible. It takes a picture of you when you load the page, and it asks you for civilian reasons. Did that do it?
This is a horrible idea. Turn off your microphone on your.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna turn off the microphone permission. There we go. Oh, but that is. Sorry. It disables my mouse cursor, and it will every 10 seconds it makes my screen full screen, which is annoying. And so it asks for 10 years of Swift experience, it asks you to be a rock star, ninja code slinger, and a bunch of weird stuff. Like having 15 plus years of Kotlin experience, which has been recently invented. 2 to 3 years of industry experience for a junior entry-level role. So then it asks you, what college did you go to? UC Berkeley, MIT U, Carnegie Mellon U, Stanford U, fuck you. And it asks for your GPA, either 5.0 or above, or failure. Oh, there's that full screen thing. What? It's not showing the drop-downs? Oh. Yeah. So the prefixes are Mr., Miss. Mrs. is grayed out because we don't want families. That is also why we ask for, we expect you to work nights, weekends, with occasional unexpected international travel. We ask for the first 3 letters of your name, and then you have to enter the rest of it after it. Middle name, last name, phone number. You do it by up and down arrow keys. So, so it would take a while to get to your phone number. Thankfully, you can type it in too. You only get 4 characters for your password, and ideally they're in the alphabet. For immigration status, you can be H-1B, off the books. U.S. citizen is grayed out. So we can't ask you your age, so we try to derive it by asking when you graduated. And it asks if you've ever had a first date, and you can only select no. And what you do, you can't unselect it. It asks your technical prowess, if you've been a ninja, a rock star, or a pirate, what your working philosophy is, if it's like caffeine-fueled all-nighters, or us against them approach to management, and your favorite pastime, playing sports, driving trucks, getting lots of dates. Those are all checkboxes, so you can select them all. How would your colleagues say you approach challenges you face, hard or soft? In what way do you approach your challenges, logical or emotional? How do you prefer your code, functional or pretty? When playing ping pong with your colleagues, are you competitive or cooperative? And how do you solve your coding problems, structured or intuitive? Lastly, we have to figure out if you're religious. So we ask what you like to do on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. We ask what your favorite holiday is. And for referrals, you need to be referred by senior leadership, lowly peon, or good luck, I think. So for equity, for your salary expectations, you can be paid $50,000, $40,000, $30,000, $20,000, $10,000, $350, or by default, equity only. And for your marital or your marital status or children questions, we ask like how you like your school district, whether you're in favor of taxes paying for school districts, where are you from, where are you really from. We tell you that this is legally binding. You've accepted pre-dispute binding arbitration, and you're officially our employee. And if you don't move forward in the process, you're technically terminated, not rejected. We ask you to list your personal software projects, hardware, firmware, wetware, and we get all that IP. We ask which one's a better university, Stanford, UC Berkeley, where you went to boot camp, the worst night you've ever spent in jail, what's the worst manager you've ever had, what made them so bad, what languages you speak, read, or write fluently, which accents do you find hardest to understand, what do you consider a real programming language, CoffeeScript, or mumps, which which version control do you prefer, Perforce or PVCS? And which one do you really prefer, Box, Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive? And lastly, we ask, how do you version, and don't mention Semver. The terms of service, that's not a hyperlink, that's just an underline. So eventually you get down, and then you can submit your application, and then you get to the whiteboard test. And so you're asked to solve any Clay Institute math problem on the spot. You're asked to write the MD5 hash algorithm from memory, complete with magic constants, or explain why interuniversal Teichmuller theory is correct, which people have read this, and even the best math people can't understand it. And so you can start, writing your MD5 hash or whatever you're doing. Yeah. And you have to have, proper syntax, and you have to do code highlighting. And of course, if you take too long to select your color, it starts to fade away. And you've sort of lost your work, so you gotta get in between there. And it makes cool pictures. Anyway, so after you've done that, we now have you complete a linear algebra problem, complete with an abstract, introduction, proof, discussion, conclusion, and it will give you good feedback. It will give you good real-time feedback as to how you're doing. Okay. And so after you've done that, we want to see how your linear algebra is. But we also want to make sure that you pass our drug test. So thankfully, we've learned how to scale our drug tests. And what you can do is we ask you to blow into your microphone for 10 seconds without stopping to see if your lung capacity is there. You're not inhaling too much. That might ruin that. So let's see if I can pass this breathalyzer. Oh, man. I've disabled the mic. Which, of course, means I'm going to fail. All right, hold on. I have failed. Oh, no. And so then it redirects you to a 404. And then I believe something else happens. Does something else happen? I'm not sure if it happens. What? Okay. Huh. Well, there we go. Then it B-sods. So if we go back to the microphone, the breathalyzer, so I have this continue button in case you can't get it to work. But it does work if you do it for 10 seconds. Then we quiz you on the age-old question, Vim or Emacs. We were trying to do it so if you, Notepad++ is just not highlighted, is disabled. So if you choose Emacs, we're going to put you to Vim, and ideally, if we had the time, we would map Vim to Emacs bindings. But they both go to Vim. You can select your theme, and when you click Submit, it gives you pictures of Richard Stallman in 10 seconds to delete it all. So you have to press GG to go to the top, and I believe it's D, then Shift G, and that clears it all. And I just made it. And your application is under review. We'll get back to you between 1 and 365 days. We hope you don't, please don't get a different job. After all, you already have one. We employed you. Thank you. And please visit the website, which is this-bytes.glitch.me. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have the snake team here? Or the presentation generator? Yes, presentation generator. All right. And is Carl here for Snake Project? No, Carl? All right. So after presentation generator, If anyone wants to go, we'll have some extra time for that. Yep. Should be the correct one.
Is the previous person still casting? Yeah, I don't know how to stop.
I'm going to Google it. Do you want to pop the mic?
Yeah, totally. I think it's available now. Oh no. Cool. All right. Hi everyone. My name is Andy Timmons, and I made a presentation / battle deck generator. Battle decks is an improv game where you get random slides, but this can be used for more than just battle decks. Some people are really good at business and they write all these great presentations, but maybe you're more like me and business makes you sad, and making presentations makes you sad. And when you're trying to prepare them, why is that there? There we go. Does that work? Yeah, it's good enough. I'll be leaving this soon enough. So maybe you get disorganized, you can't make all your slides, or maybe you're at a hackathon and your demo is just not working, and you're crying, and you need something to put together. Enter Battle Deck Presentation Generator. What it does is LinkedIn has this tool / website called SlideShare where people upload their presentations. And at the top, you can see it has a search bar. So you can put in any arbitrary search term you want, like finance, AI, veterinarians, which is spelled wrong apparently, sales, management, death, machine learning, and run those. And I'm going to kick that off now, and it's going to build me a presentation to give you. And while it's doing that, I want to give you an overview of the architecture. Your local host grabs random garbage from LinkedIn and shuffles it randomly. It has some of the best code I've ever written, no unit tests, maximal code duplication by avoiding functions. All errors are handled with try except blocks with no error type specified. It's really great. And it looks like it just finished grabbing all those slides for me. So I'm going to give you a presentation now on this. Let me grab all these and open them in preview. All right, let's hide the sidebar so I can't see it. So I guess today, why isn't that sharing? Oh no. Didn't I do cast desktop? If I close the tab for slides. Okay. Thank you. Well, my slides are still up there, but I closed them. Let's crit Chrome and see what happens. No. Sorry, y'all. I think this might be the same thing that happened before. Yeah, do you want to help me? Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. There, it just went away. Yeah. Cast desktop.
Yeah, sure.
Share.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. All right, cool. So this is the command I ran. It extracted a bunch of presentations for sales, finance, veterinarians, marketing, etc. It throws them all in a directory, and it just downloads all the photos. And I have them open here. So today it looks like I'm talking to you about Brexit, a topic of which I am intimately familiar and know a lot about. As you all know, Brexit is the UK leaving the European Union, and the primary thing that will be impacted by Brexit is anonymous, apparently. They will no longer be able to get visas to the European Union. through their friendly control. They've been protesting recently in the news about this student who is a teacher at the Madison Elementary School. Teachers are going to be impacted by Brexit because they will no longer be able to take their kids on field trips to other parts of Europe. But it's not just teachers that are hurt. It's also people in the industry. Human workers trained on how to use tools to their advantage are going to be devastated by Brexit. This is from a research study done by IBM, as you can see. They're an international business machine, but with Brexit, it's going to be harder for them to be international. But we're really hopeful, too. There are some things that will benefit from Brexit, such as the Small Business Loan Fund, specifically Patrick Dewar, and only Patrick Dewar. He's a middle manager in this loan fund, and his sales are going to go through the roof. Another industry that's going to do well, or another group that's going to do well, is cybersecurity projects. Because there's going to be a lot more vulnerabilities for them to patch. And the last group that I'm super excited to see do well is this senior center in Tallahassee, Florida. Hopefully Brexit will decrease the exchange rate for them, and it will be much easier for them to go to Britain on their retirement pension. Brexit is a complex issue, and really the key to understanding it comes from all of these words. I won't read them for you. It's too many words, but I just want to read this one line that I think is really salient here. We give advice on industry, best practices, emerging technology, and R&D. And that's really what Brexit's all about, is making the world a better place for people like Maze Runner. I'm just going to move on and talk about the AI rush. Hey, UK, can you hear us from up here? There are so many deals in Europe. It looks like it's going to be hard to get these deals in Europe in a post-Brexit world. I think I have one more slide left. And I just want to give a shout out to Alliance Marketing, my sponsor, for bringing me to this conference today. Thank you all so much.
Have we missed anyone else? Does anyone else have a project that didn't get a chance to come up and talk about it? How's the VimDrive going? The Vim part is there? Should we bring the camera over, or do you want to come here? What's the chances of it breaking if you move it up here? 90%. Okay. All right. Do you just want to give a quick update on how much you got working? There's a bunch of lights that are on now. And he's going to try to turn some of them off. All right. I guess that ends our stupid hackathon. We're going to take some time to clean up the space. As you all know, there aren't any janitors here. There's only you and I. So let's try to keep it looking better than we found it. And so we're going to take 30 minutes, an hour to clean up the space, and then the event will be officially over. Thank you, everybody, for coming.